Arnold says someone dumped this brush just this morning. She's worried about the big piles like this that block the road. Steak-'em Take-'em has been a fixture in this neighborhood for the past few years, but last night an explosion did this. Educators believe there's something tangible about board and tabletop games, something that pulls them into the experience and helps them learn by doing. The Shamrock Trading Corporation is adding 1,000 new jobs in an expansion across the street into the Old French Market shopping center. Trench rescues like this one are extremely rare in Johnson County, but when something like this does happen, first responders want to be ready. The city says the waste those people are stuffing into these bins qualifies as commercial dumping, which is illegal in Mission Hill. The great thing about an open room like this is that there's nothing to run into. You can freely hunt zombies without worrying about hitting a wall or tripping over an object. More visitors to Kansas City means more visitors to the plaza. That means more shoppers and diners. Plus, it's just a lot of fun. Drivers today go through 10 different courses. The best ones can complete it in 3.5 to 4 minutes. All of this is to make sure they're ready when the first snow hits. It's a lot more than just a branch or two. Workers on both sides of the state line are trying to remove debris from power lines, homes, and city streets. Freeze killed off some trees like this one entirely, but the same conditions that created this shortage could eventually lead to a sweet payoff. This isn't the first time Oak Park students have stood up for transgender rights. In 2015, they crowned Landon Patterson, a trans student, homecoming queen. That truck fell more than 60 feet off that overpass and broke into 3 sections. Small towns like Lecompton don't always have the same resources as larger communities, but that just means people have to take matters into their own hands and dig themselves out of the snow. By my count, there's 15 birds scattered from this curb to this median. Imagine this red ball of Play-Doh is Verizon, and this blue one is AT&T. Right now, they're the 2 dominant companies, and Sprint and T-Mobile can't quite compete on their own. The 2 companies say merging together gives them a little more weight in the market. Some of these horses have been out interacting with people for more than a decade. For those who love the horses, it's hard to imagine these stalls empty. Last time police saw the cow was last week. She was walking through this wooded area, not too far from Bonner Springs High School. Last night, KU students were watching the Oscars here on the Film and Media Department soundstage. And when Kevin's name was called, you could feel the excitement in the room. Braden and his mom have delivered paper footballs all over Turney and up the road in Lathrop, where Braden goes to school. They've driven up to an hour away to collect donations. Talking through a screen can feel a little bit impersonal. That's why many hospitals require medical professionals in the room with the patient during a video chat. Sometimes what people think they're recycling still gets thrown away, usually because the stuff they're putting in the bins doesn't belong there. Mineral water no longer flows out of these taps. But the city hopes to return the historic building to its glory days by celebrating its past. Floodwater just barely reached the foundation of the house, and while the city doesn't expect it to get much higher, saving this building could be a race against time for another reason. They're shipping the bags to areas throughout Carroll County like this, where the water rose over the past few days. The volunteers are trying to get as much done as they can now before things get worse.